I'll get up and I'll play a bunch of covers, and at the end I'll play Dick Down in Dallas.
I heard there's bars that won't let you play it.
Yeah,
they won't.
Do you think there's a specific line that
I think it's butt fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that the one?
Grab the KY, get yourself ready. You got some sliding to do. Hanging out with TL and the boys, maybe some critters too. So get your phone and get on the gram. You know where to find the man. Slide into the DMs, girl, what's on your mind? Slide into the DMs, but baby, take your time. Slide, slip it on in. Here we go again. DM Monday.
Welcome back to another episode of the DM Monday podcast. I'm Trey Lewis, and I'm here with my co-hosts Bonner and Mitch Wallace.
Hello.
And today's guest is Teddy Robb. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Do you know the only reason you're here is because I found your music on Spotify by myself. Nobody showed it to me. I just found it, and I fucking love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good compliment. Cheers.
Yeah, brother.
Thank
Cheers.
I remember the day he found it, and he was like, dude, you got to fucking listen to this shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was like, all right, what's his name? He was like, Teddy Robb. And isn't that somebody else's name? That's like who's the big guy with the beard that sings?
Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims.
Swims.
I was like, I said,
Dude,
you mean Teddy
Robb's
Swims?
been around way longer than Teddy
I said, you mean
Swims.
Teddy Swims? And he was like, no, Teddy Robb. And I was
Teddy
like, all right, cool,
Robb.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. I'd heard your name before, and you know, like every Friday, new music comes out in Nashville, and I think every songwriter, every anybody that's anything lives here in Nashville for music checks out that new music for country new music Friday, and like you were like one of the 4 songs, but it was Pretty Things that Kyle wrote, Kyle Sturrock.
Yeah.
And like I'd seen Kyle play at listening room like the week before that song dropped or whatever. And I mean, by this time I'd already been listening to your music, but there was like, he was like, yeah, I wrote this song about my wife or my girlfriend or whatever, like when I first moved to town and we lived in this shitty house, and a guy named Teddy Robb wrote it. So that was like the third, was putting it out this Friday or whatever. So that was like the fourth or fifth time I'd heard your name, and I was like, I'm just about to just dig in here and just go full on fan. So love your shit, man. Where are you from?
Man, I appreciate that. I'm from Ohio, Akron.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Ohio boys.
Yeah, Ohio boy here with a bunch of Alabama guys.
You, Johnny, and Kyle. Kyle's from there too, right?
I don't think Johnny's from Ohio. He's from like Virginia.
Yeah, he's from Virginia.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
No, I think I'm the only one.
Nice. When'd you move to Nashville?
I moved here in 2013, and
Damn, long time.
yeah, I was doing, came down here and was doing Broadway, and then they were just we were talking about snowboarding, and then
brutal.
I was here for a year, and then I was out on a snowboarding trip and got asked to be a house musician out there, and so I moved out to Vail and was there for a year, and then been back since.
Did you get to live in Vail for free during that?
Pretty much,
Because it has to be expensive.
It was
to live there.
$250 a month.
Damn, dude.
You know how much
that's
the
awesome.
McDonald's breakfast cost? $18 a day.
It's a different time.
Really? Why is that?
Dude, because Vail's like a dreamland. It's
it's
fucking
Started
gorgeous.
podcasting or something.
It
Have
really
you want
was
to see my
wild.
video of me snowboarding?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find this.
We played out in Denver. I'm having all kinds of goddamn.
I mean, here's a
issues
little
over
clip
here,
of it.
man. What the fuck?
You got a little messed up, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I dislocated my shoulder. Like out there on the hill.
Dude.
So like I hit. And they tell you not to land on your wrist because you can like break your wrist or whatever. And I'm a big boy, so that's like even more exaggerated for me. So everybody I knew that snowboarded, when I asked them for advice before, like the week before, it was like, hey, you're a little bit heavy, just don't land on your wrist. Like, don't land on your wrist. Don't land on your wrist. I was like, all right. Which is okay. So when I fell, I was like trying to take it, And I fell one time and landed directly on my shoulder. And I mean fucking pain, dude. And instantly, like, I guess my adrenaline was going. I just jumped up and went like this, and it popped back in.
Oof.
And it still hurts to sleep on to this day. And that was in February. So snowboarding was not our friend, dude.
No, we don't worth the
You go out there
fuck.
and bust your ass when you're 30 years old.
Yeah, I
You're
take
done.
it pretty easy these days, but I was pretty aggressive when I was living out there.
Can you do a 180?
I mean, yeah.
He's like, yeah, I mean, no problem.
He's down here doing those quadruple
Mitch
black
was like making
diamonds.
bets with people that he was going to do a 180.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I'm so good at everything I do. I can crush snowboarding.
And it was not the case.
It takes a minute.
Yeah.
Like skiing is easier to get up and just go.
Yeah.
But
skiing's kind of
it's harder to master, though. Snowboarding, it takes a while to even get your bearings.
But snowboarding's kind of lame. I mean, skiing is lame. I don't want to ski.
The older I get, the more I'm going to ski. I want to
Really?
ski again. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of lame looking, so I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to
You're
get
still
girls.
flying down a mountain at like 50 mile an hour.
Yeah.
But I want to get girls, you know? And I just went out there and busted my ass, and someone else got all the girls. So you would just play music at
Yeah.
night and snowboard all day, like living the dream?
Yeah, that was pretty much my life for that year. And then the summer was.
Were you playing
awesome out
covers
there.
or originals?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, mostly covers at that point. I mean, I was still, just trying to get. I didn't start singing until I was 21.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Nashville, I'd only been singing a couple years, and I was like, well, if I'm going to practice all the time, I might as well try and like get paid practicing. So I was singing like cover sets all the time here. And then I kind of took what I was learning on Broadway and went out there, and they seemed to like it for a while. And then I made some connections that brought me back here in 2016 and 2017. I got a deal and did that whole thing.
Dude, Vail is full of rich people too, so I bet the tips were nice.
Yeah, I did good. I made some money out there.
People might try to buy you a car or something.
Yeah.
Is the deal that the deal you got is? Are you still in that deal now or no?
No,
Is
so
that's the EP you put out, right?
my first two EPs were
Yeah.
with Monument, and I had that deal, and then got out of that in 2022, and then Pretty Things was actually my first independent release.
Yeah, I mean, you've
Pretty
been,
Things is great,
but you've been
dude.
crushing it. You know,
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a whole different thing doing it independently. I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm enjoying it. I at least feel like I've gotten to have the bit of time where I wanted to just like record songs that I didn't really give a shit what anybody else thought about them. I just wanted to put some
yeah,
music
that's the
out
vibe that
wanted.
I totally got. From
Yeah.
like listening to your music. Like, I mean, I've obviously listened to all of your music now, but like, I really, dove into it. But it seemed that's the vibe that I got. It's like, this guy doesn't care, whether he wrote the song or if he didn't write the song, or like he's just putting out good music.
Yeah.
And
How'd
that's
you-
cool to me.
How'd you come across Pretty Things? I mean, like, were you and Kyle already friends, or how did that go?
Kyle and I were writing because Roxy over at Universal set Kyle up, and we were writing. And I built a house last year, so we just had a little bonfire, and we had just framed the house in, and we're sitting out there having a bonfire, and we're what happens when a bunch of songwriters are hanging out and there's guitars around.
Yeah.
And I've kind of got this winding driveway, and we're just kind of dreaming about what this house is going to be like. Meanwhile, I'm living in a 800 square foot condo, and he plays that song, and I was like, man, what's going on with that? He's like, nothing. I was like, I'm getting ready to go cut. Like, I was going into the studio in like a couple of weeks.
Hell yeah.
And so, I just love
It's like the first song you wrote when you moved to Nashville, basically, or something. That's what he
It's an
says.
insane song. I just think Kyle's insane. So.
He's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
insane.
So I was pumped, a solo write, and it really was like for us, having the record deal is amazing. It's a dream come true, but you have, 10 really smart people in your ear.
Yeah.
And so whenever I was going independent, I was like, well, I just love this song, and I love what this guy's doing, and Kyle, and it really fit my story, and I related to it, and it's just kind of cool to not have to ask permission.
Yeah, but even the artwork and like the whole theme behind it, man, I think you did a good job of
Thanks, man. I appreciate
putting that out. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Kyle will he'll text. I get these texts on Fridays and Saturday nights, every Friday and Saturday night, of people being drunk in some bar in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, they're playing your song. But Kyle sent me one. He said, just checking in here. I'm in so and so, and then every time he does it, like, I'm like, yeah, man, you got to put music out, and like he doesn't want to hear it,
Yeah.
But we think the train songs,
Dude, it's so good. I don't know Kyle.
Have you've heard the train song?
Oh yeah.
I don't know Kyle like really personally or at all, but every time I've seen him, I've told him I'll do all his content for free. Like, dude, just put out music and I'll do all your content for free. And every time he's just like, yeah, man, good to see you. Like, brushes it off.
He's so
and I'm
good.
like, damn, dude, one day. Like, yeah, that train song
Yeah.
fucks.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut that as soon as he'll let me.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, dude, you should. Mitch has been trying to tell him to let me cut it, but
I mean, it's so good I could sing it and it'd go crazy, you know?
What about Mcilwain?
Mcilwain could sing it and it'd blow up. It's that good.
Let's not go that far.
Yeah, maybe not Mcilwain.
Well, I thought for sure I was doing a good thing bringing some whiskey in to drink with the guy that has dick down in Dallas.
Yeah.
Because that's about all I knew going into today.
Yeah. No, dude,
Again,
you're
he's
good.
like, no, I'm sober.
Yeah, I'm sober.
Tell me about that.
16 years. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a long ass story, but I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't know it. But I mean, I started drinking and doing drugs at a young age when I was like 13. And then, I don't know, I progressed really fast. You know, it was like a ski jump for me. It was just straight down.
Without the 180 or with the 180?
Just double diamond straight down it, baby. Isn't it like double black diamond? That's like the hard.
That's what me and Bonner were doing on our snowboard.
Yeah, of course.
Face down, ass up.
But yeah. But yeah, so I mean, every time it just got to a point where every time I got drunk or got high or something, I always like ended up in jail or, you know, like in the insane asylum or just like it was bad. And I was like 19 years old and I was like puking up blood in the mornings and just like pounding whiskey and just it was bad. And I decided I wanted to go get help and I went to rehab for 2 weeks and I got out of rehab and I went to Halfway House for 6 months and I started going to 12-step meetings and long story short, I've been sober ever since. I moved in with my dad at 9 months sober and bought a guitar and taught myself how to play it. And so long story short, I always say country music saved my life, but it's been a long fucking road, dude. No, I don't want to say it's been tough in a way of like wanting to drink because I don't ever think about that. I'm just saying life's hard in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm still here, baby.
What's wild is it's continuous sobriety, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, I got a DUI, and I went 17 months sober.
Yeah.
Because I was scared that I was an alcoholic or had a problem. And then I was like, oh, I'll dabble with it again and see if I'm good. So it's most impressive that it's, like, continuous.
Yeah, it's day in and day out, you know, and, like, I don't have a problem with people that are, you know, I know we joked about Brill and other people that are, like, California sober. I don't have a problem with that. Whatever works, whatever improves your quality of life, as long as you're not killing yourself, like, I'm down with that, you know.
For sure.
You know, when we go out on the road, y'all like to rage, you know. We like to get girls on the bus sometimes, you know, whatever.
Do you do that?
Yeah, of course.
I don't.
I mean, yeah, right.
McIlwain does.
Whatever.
Dude, the
Front
best
lounge
part-
only.
Never forget Bristol, Tennessee, McIlwain.
no.
Gross.
Let's not
The
talk
best part about Trey being sober is you always have a driver, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we'll go out and Trey will buy the most shots out of anybody. Like, he'll just be feeding you shots. And, you know, you always try to use it. She's like, oh, man, I can't drink no more. I got to drive. And he's like, no, you don't. I have your keys.
My favorite thing to do on the road is like we'll be chilling on the bus in the front lounge and I'll be like, McIlwain, drink that. Mitch, take this shot. Smoke this, you know, and I'll get everybody that's just like cause a whole bunch of chaos. And
then you go to
like,
bed.
And then like 10 minutes later, I'll go get in my bunk and shut my curtain.
I will say, that one night you gave Mcilwain like a full cup of Fireball and he got in my bunk and it was bad.
Dude, this weekend, Nick got sick. He got way too drunk and high or whatever. And Trey caused it. And then at the end, like, Trey will go to his bunk. And then when shit gets bad, like, Nick was in the back, like, all balled up. And Trey will come back out and just talk shit. Like, that's
Have
when
like a
everybody...
10-minute conversation with him.
Yeah, everybody's, like, hungover, like, at the end of the night. And Trey's like...
My favorite thing to do is wake up the next day and tell everybody, man, guys, I feel great. I don't know about y'all, but I am not hungover at all.
You're a shot bully that doesn't drink. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Or if you take a nap the next day, he's like, yep, you must be hungover, piece of shit.
Yeah, but I sleep the most out of anybody. No, man, but I mean, I have fun with it. You know, I don't ever think about like me drinking anymore. Like, it doesn't ever even crosses my mind like that would be a good idea or a good time. You know, like if it was still fun for me, I'd probably still be doing it. You know, but it got to a point to where it wasn't fun and it was just such a negative thing. And now it's just so much a part of who I am and a part of my story. And I feel like, you know, like what we're talking about, like a lot of that story hasn't been told yet. And that's like my drive to keep on going. Like, I feel like my sobriety and not only my story of where I was, but the things I've been through in my sobriety is still the story that's untold and the story that I feel like has to be told. Like, if I don't get that story out, I feel like unaccomplished in a way. You know what I mean? It ain't about like, you know, number one records or having songs on the radio, but it is in a long way of like everything that I've had to go through. You know what I mean?
But then after Trey started working at the rehab.
I worked at a rehab center for like 7 years. Yeah.
And that's how we met. My cousin was addicted to heroin, and Trey was one of the guys he accredited with saving his life. Yeah. When he went to rehab, Trey was his intake person, and that's how we got close, became friends.
But it's awesome. Like so much shit like that I just forget about, you know? Because it's like, I mean, helping people is like part of what sobriety is. You know what I mean? It's like, and I do it now these days as like it's a sense of duty, and I don't ever even think about it or question it, and I feel weird talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it ain't about me. You know what I mean? It's about helping that person. It's about me. It helps me like move on to the next day, but I feel weird talking about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he doesn't like to brag. I recently had a friend that moved here to a sober living house, and we were fishing the other day. I told Trey about it, and he was like, yeah, well, if you give him my number if you want to, if he ever needs anybody. So, like, Trey's not a complete piece of shit.
Yeah, I just sing about dicks and butt fucks every now and then. You know,
sometimes you got to get it out.
Yeah, you just got to get it out.
So I saw in your story you bought a cowboy hat today. Was that today or was that yesterday?
Yesterday.
Where'd
you buy it from?
Hatworks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a nice one.
It's pretty nice.
You like went and got fitted and everything?
I don't get a lot of things for myself, but when I do, I like it to be nice. So I won't have 10 cowboy hats. I'll have one, and it's gonna.
What made you pull the trigger? Watching Yellowstone?
No, actually, I wrote a song that was just the dumbest song, but it's a dumb title, but we wrote it and it was so fun, and it was it just had some cowboy hat shit in it, and I was like,
you're like, I want to put this song out.
You're like, I need a cowboy hat.
And honestly, I've been here, you know, for coming up on 10 years, and I just have never had a cowboy hat. I've just never really considered myself that guy. I don't consider myself a cowboy hat cowboy hat guy, but I don't know. Something just got inside. It crawled inside me and said, "You need to get you a damn cowboy hat."
Yellowstone.
Intrusive thoughts.
Yellowstone crawled inside me and made me want a cowboy hat for a long time.
Do you have one, Mitch?
No, but I'm not a cowboy either. But I have like a in between a cowboy hat and like a work hat, I guess. Like it's not a full cowboy hat. It's like a smaller one, and it's like Indiana Jones. I would put it on and watch Yellowstone.
I have a cowboy hat, but Brad Curry, while he worked at Boot Barn, just hooked it up. So that's the only reason I have one.
Didn't Kyle write a song called "If I Was a Cowboy" for some artist?
Yes.
Yeah, that song's a banger, dude.
Can we make Mcilwain put his cowboy hat on during this episode?
Does he have one here?
Yeah, it's a sweet boy on it.
So do you have a cowboy hat?
It's all the way downstairs.
This is a funny story. So, you know, Ella Langley's my roommate.
Okay.
And her manager, James, one of her people on her team, me and Ellie both used to be at WME for booking. And WME has this party every year for, I guess it's CMA or
Christmas
or something like that. It was at Layer Cake this year.
Okay.
And downstairs they were giving away like cowboy hats, and you could get stuff stitched in them. And I don't know, James' idea was that he would get Brooks and Cum tattooed
or stitched
into his hat, and his said Brooks. And mine said "and come" or something like that. Yeah, so I have one, but it doesn't really fit my head. It's kind of
yours
awkward.
fully says Brooks and Calm.
Oh, it does say Brooks and Calm. Yeah, it's somewhere.
What does yours say?
They're my heroes.
Mine says Sweet Boy.
Yeah.
And I told them to put it in the back, but they put it in the front.
They're the reason I got into country music.
Yeah, Brooks and Calm. And James got on his. He got Brooks and Calm, and the U was a horseshoe.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool. But when I wear a cowboy hat, I just look like I'm 6'5", so it only makes me like a 7-foot cowboy hat.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey.
I'm not a fan of it. Can you drive? You can't drive wearing it. hits the back of your
Yeah,
seat.
you got to pull the.
Do you
You gotta
drive wearing a
lean
hat
forward.
anyways?
Yeah.
Dude, I take my hat off every time I drive.
Well, you're not a good driver.
Dude, I'm the best driver in this
The
room.
worst driver. No, he's
One
terrible.
time, Bonner picked us up from the airport.
Yeah, I drove up when we
we
left.
got back from the airport, and he was like, "Yeah, I parked in the parking lot at the airport. You guys, I'll take you home." So we get in the shuttle, and they're like, they do stops to like each section. And Bonner was like, "Yeah, we need to get off here." And we're like, "Okay, cool." None of us know where the fuck you parked at.
Neither did I.
We get off on like section B, and he's like, "Yeah, we're over here."
I'm in Z,
we ended
bitch.
up, we ended up walking to like K. Like we had to walk legitimately like a mile to get to his car.
Dude, it's like when you go to the grocery store and you park fucking 3 miles away and you're like, fuck, I'm at Kmart and I should be at Walmart.
Dude, we had to walk there as the bus passes us, and then the next round of bus passes us.
I'm gonna
We're
go
"Man,
lay in the
fuck
street."
you, Bonner." We're all sweating, walking to the car. It was brutal.
And then I drove it home safe.
Barely.
With no hat
He
on.
does this thing where he speeds up and then he pushes the brakes.
Yeah, and then speeds up and then pushes the
No wonder
right.
my
But it's like he's
transmission's
driving
fucked.
like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a
Dude, I'm not-
go-kart.
I'm
My
not-
dad would want to kill you.
I'm not tall enough to reach the pedal. What do you
I wanna kill
expect?
Yeah, I want to kill it too. He doesn't know how to work anything in his car. He has like Apple CarPlay.
I
and
don't know how it
doesn't
works,
how to
dude.
Oh
work
my god!
I don't know how CarPlay works.
Get it together. Button it up, man.
Button it up.
I'll be,
Button it up.
Button
be-
it up, buddy.
I'll be the one still using the aux.
Yeah,
Like
he
the
doesn't
actual
use
plug?
Bluetooth.
That's great.
And he's in a brand new Nissan. It's fucking crazy.
I don't know how it works. Nobody showed me how.
When I first met Bonner, he had a F-250 and a Nissan Altima. And I was like, dude, you have an F-250? Why don't you ever drive that? And he's like, I just got it to impress girls. I don't know.
It didn't work. I sold it.
So we can cut this out. This is like an awkward thing, but I was talking to somebody today. I was telling me you were going to be on the podcast. Apparently, you have like a crazy love story.
Oh,
You still have a girlfriend or no?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. We
cool.
can.
So
We
we're
can.
good.
We
We
don't
can
have to
talk-
cut it out. We can tell
yeah,
it.
we're good.
I don't know if I've ever really told this story on a podcast
Exclusive.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard the song "Question the Universe"?
Yes, I love that song.
All right. So
That's like 10 out of 10. That's probably like Stay Single is obviously like, okay, so Single Again is a song that I have.
Yep.
And it was like another viral moment for me on TikTok. It was like went number 1 on iTunes charts, and it's like another hit that we have at the live shows. And I wrote that song. I wrote it. We broke up. I put it on TikTok like a few months later, and as the song's like blowing up on TikTok, me and her are like trying to work things out. So like I don't know. Anytime I ever hear a song with like Single Again, or because there's like how you'll like write a song and check the title, and so anytime there's like anything like that, I always like check it out, and that's how that was your first song that I heard.
Oh, cool.
Was Stay Single, and I was like, this is way cooler than my song.
Oh, shut up.
And you wrote it with James McNair, right?
Yeah, James and Pete Good and Brandon.
Yeah, I did. I just did a writer's retreat, and James was on. It was our first time writing together.
He's a shit.
So good.
I
dude.
love James.
Yeah, I
Good
love
dude.
his music too.
Oh yeah,
The Fly on the Wall? That song's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I need to hit him up, but
Anyways, your story. Enough about me.
so it was St. Patrick's Day last year, so like 2022.
Yeah.
And I don't go out a whole lot. Even like, especially after COVID, I just became like really introverted and
Yeah.
wasn't going out. And just for whatever, I'm like, it's St. Patty's Day. I'll get out. So
Go drink
out.
some green beer.
Yeah, go out, try and have a good time. I'm
Yeah.
in Nashville, like whatever. So I go out, meet a girl. It's just like a phenomenal night. It's like so fun, and I'm hanging out with Matt Stell and Brad
Yeah.
Tersey, and the vibes are real high. We end up going to Brad's house, and we're like just all hanging out and playing guitars. And there's like this Brazilian guy or something. He's an amazing singer, and Brad pulls out this like old vintage amp, and he's playing. And I stumble through a few chords at this point.
Yeah.
And then just had like an awesome night and stayed up almost till sunrise. Next day I'm leaving. I'm like, hey, should we like try that again? Was that real or was that just the night?
Yeah.
So we go out again, and she's like, I got to be honest with you, I'm moving to LA in like 10 days, and
Damn.
I got a boyfriend out there.
And she lives here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's getting ready to move to LA.
Yeah.
This is getting good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, like we hang out one more time, and like, probably ought to not do this if you're really moving. And she's like, okay, so like the 4th day we don't hang out. I'm like, that sucked. So, you know, I talked to some friends. They're like, no, you ought to go for it. My dad tells me this story of like forever ago. My dad's almost 80. So he's like, I was going through some really tough times, and I was took a trip down to Florida and met a stewardess on the airplane, and I don't know, we might need to cut this part out. I don't want to get my dad in trouble.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the long story short, he's like, we spent like 3 days together, and you know, after that, I never saw her again. And turns out she was like, she had somebody else. And he's like, I just tell you, I didn't go for it. And he's like, I still think about that. Yeah. He's like, so you ought to go for it. So then I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah, because you get the knowledge, you get the what is it from your dad? Like the knowledge from him. You know,
yeah,
like,
old
that's
man
awesome.
wisdom, dude.
Old man wisdom.
Yeah, no, you don't have to cut that out. He's cool. So anyhow, I'm like, it's day 5. I'm like, all right, we got 5 more days to figure this out. You're about to go to LA, and I don't want you to. And I'm just like in my head, like, pull out everything, all the stops, like whatever you got to do. And so it's like
run down the street crying, chasing the
be
car.
outside our house with a boombox.
All of that. I did everything you could think of.
Rose petals on the floor.
Yeah. And all the while, Brad Tersey had been kind of hanging out with us, and we go to Red Door. We went to some dinners, blah, blah. And finally, it's Friday night, and she's leaving the next morning. Brad hits me up. He's like, hey, your guys' story is like really kind of inspired me. I got this song idea. I'm kind of writing about you guys. Would you want to come over and finish it with me? I was like, hell yeah, I'm on my way. Like, I'm on my way to go finish the song with him. And he's like, I finished it.
Yeah. He's like, but you can cut it.
Well, I just said, I'm like, well, that's incredible. I'm going to cut that.
Yeah.
And so I cut it. The next morning, she left for LA. She went out there. Like a week later, she hits me up. It's like, it's not working out here. Would you want to try it if I came back to Nashville? So we're still together over a year later.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do y'all live together or what?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's how Question the Universe came about. And it really, I was questioning a lot of things. And, but dude, when you got a broken heart or you're falling in love and you lose that person, it hits different.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome. What's it like? What was it like growing up with an older dad?
Man.
Are your parents both married or no?
Yep, they're both married.
To each other or the divorced kid? Me too.
Yeah. Been through a couple with them.
Yeah.
And so my dad being older was pretty awesome. I mean, he was like already established in his career. So I got a lot of, wisdom, a lot of time with my dad that I think, a lot of people don't get. Like if I had a kid right now, I'm like right in the middle of grinding for my career.
Yeah.
I could not imagine being a great dad right now.
Yeah.
Where my dad was already settled. So I got a lot of really great time with him. And, on the other side, it's like, well, you don't get as much time with him because he is getting older, but he's still here. He's in pretty good health and our relationship's great. So, I might end up being the same, being an older dad myself.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You ever hear Theo Vaughn talk about him having an older dad?
No.
It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it is good. You gotta look it up. I was raised by my grandparents, so my grandpa was like my dad, and it always sucked, man, because he never understood the trends. So like, I remember when how old are you now?
I'm 33.
Cool. So I'm 31, and when Nike Shox came out, I was like, I want these so bad. Like everybody has them. All my friends have them. My grandpa was like, yeah, those are dumb. I'm not paying $100 for shoes. And he was like, you can go get some Reeboks and like call it a day. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, and then I remember the baseball bat, the Connects came out, where it's like a 2-piece bat. And I was like, I got to have this bat or I'm going to suck. And he was like, yeah, you can just get a Copperhead, like the little cheap fucking $40 bat. And I was like, no. So it was brutal having like an older dad in that sense.
But he probably taught you character.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of character.
Yeah. But a lot of that was like, man, I wish you were cool. Like, I wish you were younger and understood that, like, this makes me cool. So did you ever have to deal with any of that?
Man, the only thing with him was his back always failed him, so he couldn't do a ton of sports stuff. But he was still like active. I mean, he was way into muscle cars, and so we drag raced together. But I was bike racing when I was like a little kid, and we started off with that, and he was building me the most badass bike you could have, and then it was dirt bikes, and then it was four wheelers. So we rebuilt a couple four wheelers. We just we rebuilt a 68 Firebird that I just brought down. I
saw that, the red one.
Yeah, that was something. Was
that in a music video I saw on your page or something?
I don't have it in a music video.
It was on your TikTok, I think. There's a video of it. That thing's sick. So your dad built that?
We built it together like when I was 17, 18. And
badass.
And it's always been something we've bonded over. And he's like got all kinds of cars that he's built in the past. Like got a few of them in museums. So getting to learn that kind of thing from him was really great. I could not have done what that car is without him. Like he's sick. The brains behind it. But I was a big part of it and got to learn a lot.
So you held the flashlight and got yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah. Like I'm an idiot.
Don't put it right there. I can't see it.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's where you told me to put it. So I don't fucking know.
Yeah. We were, still just this couple weekends ago, same thing. I'm crawling under the car doing things. He's like yelling at me. We're doing better now. Yeah. Now I know how to take it better. But when I was, 21, I didn't know how to take it.
It's funny because my stepdad is like, he's the type of man that like he can fix anything. Like, I mean, anything, you name it, but it's like now he's a little bit older and he has 2 knee replacements. And I know he's going to watch this and he's going to be like, yeah, he's right. Damn it. But like, we'll be like changing the brakes or whatever on my car. And like, he'll be like, no, you got to do it like this. And I'll be down there like, taking forever. And he'll be like, let me show you, like. He gets down there and like, but he's older, so it's a little bit harder for him to get down there, but he gets down there and gets it done. Like,
I know,
it's just amazing.
It's a gift. Yeah. It really is. Like people who are mechanically inclined, it's a gift. I watch my dad even to this day. I'm like, and he just, before I brought the car down here, he got it like completely ready, rebuilt the motor, did so much. And I'm like, this was kind of like his last hurrah on rebuilding a car and getting it ready. And it's just, even at 80 years old, he's just sharp as can be with that kind of thing. It's awesome.
Yeah. Anytime I'm like trying to do something in the house, I'm like, I put these grids up. I fish a lot. I have these grids up in my basement or garage where like I hang like fishing stuff. Like it's like a Bass Pro Shops. And I was like, I hung them myself. I was so proud. Like, what would Joel do? And one of them fell because I didn't like get it all the way into the stud. And I was like, man, what would Joel do here? And then like he came up here CMA week. He was like, oh man, all you gotta do is put a screw through here, right here, and you'll be good. Yeah. We hung it like that, Dude,
I went to pick up Trey's boat from Birmingham back in Alabama. I was going home and Trey was like, swing by Joel's and grab it. And I went there and I think, in and out, 15 minutes. Dude, I was there for probably like an hour and a half. Joel he taught me how to re-grease the whole fucking axle.
Yeah. And gave me the whole rundown.
Yeah. Showed me his whole shop, showed me all his tools, his old Tahoe. Told me it all. And to this day now I know how to grease an axle on a trailer. Like just because he was like, hey, come on, I'll show you how to do it. And I'm like, all right, why not?
Yeah, we talked about like me and my stepbrothers, like, we bought them some. I think we were talking about buying those glasses with the camera on it. And my stepbrother was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get him those." And then, like when the toilet seat's broken, or like, we're just gonna get him to film it on those glasses so we can archive it for when he's not here. Like, how do you fix this? How do you fix that?
Yeah, I'm terrified of that, man. Yeah, the idea of not having him to call and be like, "How do I do this?" It's just like,
did he play any music?
No, he didn't at all. But my grandma, who she passed when I was like 5 years old, so I didn't get to like firsthand learn it from her.
Yeah,
but she was an incredible singer. She had a full ride to Juilliard and acting and singing, and she couldn't go because at the time they couldn't afford to get her there.
Yeah,
and so. But I always knew that in the back of my head. I'm like, man, I love music. I listen to music. Growing up I felt like a different pace than a lot of my friends. Even I love classic rock and country, and that wasn't really going on with my friends. And when I quit playing football, I was like, I'm gonna pick up guitar and start learning some chords. And
that was at like 21?
19 when I started playing guitar, and then I really started singing at like 20, 21. I got dumped and it was over. I just poured it.
Learned how to strum a G chord, and it was like,
and and then it kind of filled a void of not playing football anymore. I love the lights coming on. I love playing the game. I just got.
What did you play? What position?
I was a receiver and defensive back in high school, and played a little receiver in college. But by the time college came around,
Where at?
I was at Akron U.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then ended up graduating from Kent. But
what'd you major in?
I have a business degree and a music minor.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was getting interested in music like my last couple years.
Yeah.
Like when I quit playing football, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to finish this business degree, learn some stuff on music. I was taking some piano, taking some guitar, taking some voice. But really, I was just doing like these bar gigs. And then I was doing that for like a year. I'm like, I'm going to Nashville.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote? What's the title?
Man, I think it was called Bad Boy.
Bad Boy. Mm-hmm. Do you remember your first song, Bonner?
No, because they were all awful.
No, we remember.
College Football Saturday.
Was that the first one?
No, I wrote that in college, but no.
What was your first song, Trey?
Well, it was called Frankie Didn't Die in Montana.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Because your best friend got taken to a fat camp or something?
No. My best friend I grew up with, he was getting his parents' debit card and taking money out. And we would go buy mushrooms and weed, and then we'd just smoke it all in his basement, do them all. And his parents obviously found out, and it was probably like a couple $1,000s, and they sent him to wilderness camp in Montana. Yeah. This is also so I have a new record coming out. I'm working on a record all year. And the title track's called Troublemaker. And the first line of the song is, or one of the first lines of the song is, I used to hide in the weeds every time my best friend's mama drove by to see Frankie wasn't hanging out with the likes of me. And, Frankie was my best friend. And his parents didn't want him hanging out with me.
That really happened, right?
Well, I was a bad influence. Yeah.
Are you still friends?
Dude, we're best friends. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anytime I've ever been through like anything in life, like when I went through my divorce, like I was married for 6 years. That's another fun fact about me. But, like anytime I've ever like needed like a friend, like he's been there, and vice versa, I lived with him for a little while right before I moved to Nashville. Actually, he gave me like dirt cheap rent, and like I think it was like $400 a month or something,
But he didn't die at wilderness.
But he didn't die out in Montana, and he's still alive and going. And we're still best friends. Still talk on the phone periodically, And
I bet it was a good time.
Yeah,
well, I'd like to go to wilderness camp in Montana.
Yeah,
that sounds
he
fun.
said that like it was like some of the most beautiful views he's ever seen.
And there was no debit cards to steal.
No debit cards to steal. And I mean he's like. And that's like a prime example of like what being an addict is or an alcoholic versus what's not. Like we party together, but like Frank can have a beer or two and be fine. You know what I mean? I drink one beer and I might be
arrested
in the bad parts of Nashville trying to buy white substance that's hard, not soft.
Yeah. I've never had that issue. I like to have a little bit.
Yeah.
That's probably why, I haven't ever had to quit is because I like a little bit. And
yeah. There's nothing wrong with
once
that.
Once in a while I get carried away. But
I have a segment that I do on here. It's called Verse and Chorus. And Mcilwain, is this guitar tuned?
Yeah, you gotta play for us.
So what we do is an unreleased song. Okay. I just want you to play the first verse chorus. You can either play it on the speaker or play it on the guitar. Anything out of your phone.
I'll play the guitar.
Cool.
Sick. Guitar Tech Mcilwain.
I always love when people pick guitar.
Guitar Tech Mcilwain.
Am I singing into here? It doesn't matter.
No, man, you can just play.
Mcilwain will set it up.
All right.
What's this one called?
I'm just going to relate it to what we've been talking about.
Will you move that mic in front of both the guitar and you a little bit?
Yeah. I'm going to relate this one to what we've been talking about having an older dad.
Okay.
It's just because that kind of came up organically. I just wrote a song called Old As You Feel. Sunday afternoons riding shotgun, see Daddy at the wheel right next to me. Was 8 years old, he was 53, but man, you never known. 'Cause he'd hike those trails, climb up them rocks, do cannonballs off the old lake dock. Don't know why, but one day I stopped and asked Daddy, are you old? He said, I feel just like a kid right now. I'm down here trying to figure out how time flies by then turns around. Seems like it's standing still. Age is just a number that turns a page or takes you back. It don't add up, it just don't seem real. But son, you're only as old as you feel.
Hell yeah.
I mean, damn.
Damn. Mitch, are you crying a little bit?
No, but this is the best segment in the whole podcast.
Yeah. That was great.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
We might as well
Thank
go
you
home
for
now.
doing that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we've had a lot of those, and I always enjoy that.
Yeah, that's always a
segment
good
the
time,
most.
dude.
It's cool.
That's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Has your
man.
dad heard it?
He has, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Did you get him to cry?
I didn't. This song progressively, changes. There's like three kind of different stories, and I think he liked it. My dad's real hard of hearing, so I'm not ever sure what he's
What'd he
thinking.
say?
Yeah. He blew both his eardrums out. One scuba diving and one working on an engine. So
Damn.
he's got hearing aids in both ears, and
Working on an engine?
yeah,
What does that
like a
mean?
backfire.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
It blew his eardrum out, and then the other one went out at scuba diving. He was a real interesting guy. I'm like doing my best to try and be as interesting as him, but he lived a pretty cool life.
I
Yeah.
busted an eardrum once. I wrestled in high school, and this kid came in that wanted to be a UFC fighter. And every year at wrestling, we'd have those. They'd come to practice for a week or two, and then they'd quit because it wasn't what they thought it was. And this kid came in and was trying to do like an arm bar across your face. And instead of like coming in gracefully and doing that, he just and to suction cup that right to my right ear, and it instantly just
And
and everything was just ringing. Like
how is it now?
it was good. It threw off my equilibrium. So like when it instantly happened, I was jarred, and I stood up and I couldn't like stand up straight. I was like wobbling around, and my buddy Gil saw who wrestled with me. He came over and he's like, "Dude, what's wrong with you? What are you doing?" And I was like, "I can't stand. I can't hear." And he's like, "What?" And I went over to Coach and I told him, and he was like, "Quit being a pussy. Get back out there."
The good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
You get canceled for that now.
Yeah.
You get fired.
Yeah, I was like, no, Coach, like this is serious. Like I'm for real. And
Oh man.
he was like, whatever, man. You didn't bust your eardrum. And I was like, well, fuck you. I'm leaving. I got my car and drove home. And I guess that's when he found out I was serious. I don't know. But I went to the ER that night. When I got home, my mom drove me to the ER. And your ear heals like it cross heals, like your eardrum. It like threads itself like crossways. And they were like, yeah, you got a pretty good hole in there. And they were like, give it a couple weeks and it'll heal back up. Don't get in any water. And it did.
Wow.
So
I had this thing called barotrauma once. So like I think coming out of COVID in like January and February, I just had COVID for like 2 months straight. Just like I swear, like I had a sore throat for like a month straight.
I remember this.
And like a headache and like I don't know. Anyways, I was dating my girlfriend at the time, and we went to North Captiva Island, and which is really awesome. I don't think it's there anymore after the hurricanes that went through there, but we go to this island for like a week, and I'm like kind of like got this like sinus infection, whatever. And on the way there, we left Nashville. We were supposed to like fly to one place and then fly to Fort Myers and then drive in. We ended up like going up in the air, and then like we missed the place where we were supposed to land, and we went to Dallas, and then we went to St. Louis, and then we got to, it was just a nightmare. So on the way back, we flew from Fort Myers to Atlanta, and then we're supposed to go to Atlanta to Nashville. And when we were descending into Atlanta, I got the worst pain in my ear. Like it felt like somebody was like stabbing me like in the neck. Like I wanted to like emergency stop the plane. It was miserable. But like my ears were just like fucked up after that for like weeks. And I remember having to play shows in like Chattanooga and shit. And like I couldn't even really hear out of my ear. But it was pretty scary stuff, man.
Yeah, I remember you were like,
not something you want to
you
mess
were
with.
freaking out about it. You were like, yeah, I'm never getting on a plane again.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even, when we were supposed to fly to Nashville, I just rented
a car.
drove
Yeah.
the rest of the way. I was like, I cannot do that pain again. And every time I've flown since, I've always made sure that I had like, nose spray or like whatever if I had any kind of thing going on.
Chew gum, right? Is that the thing?
Chew gum, yeah.
Ever since then, I've been scared to fly.
Or just being sick. Don't go if you're congested. That's a big
That's what they say. But, every time I get a flight, I'm like, hey, I'm kind of congested a little bit. Should I cancel this shit?
Yeah, for sure.
But you never can.
Every time I get COVID, I get a little itch to
fly. Yeah.
Dude, I feel like every time I fly, I get sick,
Yeah, dude, it drains you. I mean, have you done like a radio tour or anything?
No, I haven't done like a full-on radio tour, but like I have done a lot of flying. Last year I did 40 dates with Kid Rock.
Okay.
And I was a featured artist on the tour, so I wasn't with my band. I was just like I came out during his set every night, right after Picture, and sang "Dig Down in Dallas." Nice. So there was a lot of planes,
Yeah.
And it was like, God, it kills you, man.
I did radio tour in 2019, and it was just unbelievable how that just drains you.
Yeah,
drains.
And it's not everything. The flight; it's the waiting around in the airport forever. Yeah. Like you got to stay hydrated. Jet lag too. Yeah, you got to stay hydrated.
Yeah,
it's apparently flying's like terrible for your internal organs.
Yeah, so, it's not that good for you. I could definitely feel it because I was flying like five times a week at least. Sometimes a few a day.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to not be doing that anymore.
I'm excited to do it eventually, do a radio tour, but
yeah, definitely.
I know that it'll be a lot on me because we tour as much as we can as a band, so I'm sure I'll be flying during the week and then meet up with the guys and do all that stuff.
And just got to be real with them sometimes. Just take care of your health. I was like, I'm going to be, tough and not going to ever say if I'm tired. And there was like, I went on a 3-day stretch where I like for 3 days in a row, they're like, well, this is going to be really beneficial. This is great.
Yeah.
But the problem is you're not going to be able to get a hotel for 3 nights in a row. You're just going to be on planes.
Yeah.
So I was sleeping on planes for 3 nights in a row. Brutal. By the end of that, I was just a zombie, and I'm still trying to go and perform
and try to make these people like you.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part.
Yeah, it's hard to be likable when you're tired.
Yeah. Yeah,
with no good showers. Fuck that. Yeah, that'd be brutal, dude.
Yeah, I just went to Alaska and went fishing out there.
Hell yeah!
And it was a 24-hour travel day.
Yeah,
and I didn't enjoy the trip until like the last day. You know,
yeah. You ever go fishing up in Canada?
No. That Alaskan fishing trip was my first time ever doing.
What were you fishing for up there?
Halibut and we caught sea bass and lingcod and a bunch of stuff. My manager, which he was the most novice person out there, caught a 240-pound halibut. It's like a 7-foot fish. They said if we would have caught it in August, it would have weighed way more.
Wow.
But it was like the biggest fish that marina had ever caught in 2 generations of
That's
fishing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
It was like a fishing.
That's a rush.
Yeah, it was a fishing trip of a lifetime. But dude, like I threw up every day. Like I was miserable, I mean, that's like real, like I bass fish a lot. Like,
okay.
I have my boat here and I'll travel to Florida. I'll go when I'm off, I'll go wherever and go fishing. But like that fishing right there is like, that's a real man. You know what I mean? Like you're in the conditions. It's summertime over there, but it's like 50 degrees and you're freezing and the waves are like, just like, I mean, I did the armband, I did the patch behind the ear. I mean, I did everything and I was still just I'm reeling a fish.
I don't know if I want it that bad. I go on a fishing trip up in Quebec every year.
Yeah.
My stepdad has a cabin up there and we go walleye and pike fishing and it's like, it's a dream.
I bet it's fun.
It's just a dream.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun in Alaska, but I wouldn't do it again. I'd probably do it in like 5 years.
I tell everybody on my team, I'm like, hey, these dates, I'm out. Like, I'm off the grid. I'm in the wilderness, and I'm drinking beer.
Is that like ice fishing or what?
No, it's beautiful up there. Yeah, it's like we go in late May, and then I'll usually go shut the cabin down in like early September.
Nice.
So you spend a lot of time in Vail playing music, and you've been here for a long time. The name of the podcast is DM Monday. Because when Trey blew up, we started getting some wild DMs.
Yeah. Like, what's the circumference of your dick hole?
A lot of weird shit. So I'm sure you've had your fair share of weird shit, and I know you have a girlfriend, so let's be respectful of that. So maybe not the weird shit like that, but what's some of the weirdest DMs you're willing to share?
My DMs have been mild lately. Yeah. I think that everybody just realized I got a girlfriend, and I'm.
But like even back in the day, in the Vail days, what are some of like the weirdest shit you got DM'd?
No, the wildest was like 2019, 2020, and it was just I don't even hot girls. I don't know if it was wild at all. It was just, there's like, girls in my DMs. I'm like, this is different. You gonna be at
Tin Roof Demumbrian tonight?
There was probably some
there's never any weird things?
There was probably some dick pics that I was like very shocked by. Like, hey, what the fuck is that?
That's a little weird.
Yeah. Not my jam, buddy.
Trey has a good one that's similar to that.
That would be, the weirdest thing that I'm just like,
Bonner.
But no, it was wild to go from like, struggling musician, not getting a lot of attention from girls, almost like struggling with that for years to like.
What's the secret? What do I got to do differently?
Get
What's
a song
the move?
on the radio.
Get a song.
Well, fuck me, dude. I'll go lay in 21st Avenue.
Yeah, and it was just kind of crazy to see how that changed. Like I wouldn't even go out. I just like, just pull up your phone. That like Instagram became a dating app.
Yeah.
It's
the number one.
Now it's a porn site.
Yeah. Now there's apps within apps on Instagram.
Yeah,
exactly. But no, my DMs are mild these days.
Yeah. Are you posting on Threads now?
No,
not?
Dude. I'm like I am just like the least interested in social media. I'm trying to be. Like I love this because it's like real life talking to people, but I struggle being myself. As soon as I do this and start looking at my camera, I feel so uncomfortable.
You might like going live. You ever do that on
That's
TikTok?
what I should do. That's actually what Leah said. That she's like, you need to just go live. Because I'm like, I'm way better live. I'm just more natural. I like talking to people. I love being.
Like, dude, I go live every day, and I don't have like a ton of people in my live. I probably have like 50 people in my live, but all 50 of those people fuck with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, and it helps my like algorithm. Like anytime I post a video on social media, like, and then I go live right after, like that video is just like circling and people, and it like helps me. But I enjoy going live because like I can actually have a connection with people. You know what I mean? Whereas like if I just make a video and post it, people don't really get to know me and who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I struggle with social media, man. I've had my.
Do you have somebody that now that you're independent that still helps you with that, or are you
still with Assembly?
Doing a lot of it your own?
Not with Assembly anymore. Really, just. I mean, Lee and I are doing it, and I've just recently brought management on, so
sweet.
They're starting to help me with a lot of things, but man, I went through a period where I was like. Okay, I'm gonna do the TikTok game, and I'm gonna do this, and I was just fucking miserable, and so I got to a point where I'm like, I just kind of threw my hands up and was like, God, if I'm supposed to do music, I can't be a slave to social media. It's just I'm not built for it, and I just kind of it took all the pressure off, and it was like as soon as I did that, like other doors started opening up, and. Now I'm on this podcast. Like I've not done a lot of podcasts, like anything, but I'm enjoying this. And then you can take this and clip it up and use it for social media.
Exactly. Yeah. And we will send you all that. It'll be great.
So I'm just learning about that stuff. I'm learning how to be happy in my own life, in the real world, but then learn how to give some people some pieces of that. But I don't like to give too much of myself away on social media.
Yeah. For sure. People can turn that and use that however they want.
Yeah, and not get the full story,
No.
So they can twist things, not know the full story.
Yeah.
think it's brutal.
My favorite line is, "Oh, that guy sings Stick Down in Dallas. He's a piece of shit."
Yeah.
Well, I've heard your name where I think that's, probably a lot of people's first, like, he's probably a wild dude or whatever. In writer circles, everybody I've talked to, like, oh no, he's like a great dude. Everybody, your name is really well respected in town, because I write with some really, really great people, and they've all had awesome
good
things
to know.
say about
and
you.
that's just like one day at a time, man. Just keep being yourself, and
But you also have a sense of humor.
Yeah, we like to have fun, Like, I mean, what's life if you can't laugh? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm trying to learn that, man. I get stuck in my, I get like real serious. I'm like, I think it's like the athlete and the competitor in me where I'm like, I get so serious where I forget to like just enjoy
dude,
this.
I mean, Dick Down Dallas was a complete joke. Like, it was not meant to like go viral. Mitch convinced me to even put it out. He was like, I think you should get on this app TikTok and just post videos and see what it does. Like, it was honestly just like a campfire song between friends. And then we never expected it to change all of our lives, because it did,
Were you in Nashville already?
Yeah. I'd been here. I moved here in 2019, January 2019.
Yeah.
And it was after my divorce. And I was just like, I just got to move, because I lived up here in like 2012 and like did a whole record, and and then I was going to move up here, and my buddy was like, man, don't move up here. Just stay home, get your chops up, like move up here when it makes sense. And I was just like, I played in cover band for 6 years, and I would come up here and write and record and then go home and do that whole thing. And I was like, I just got to try it. Like, I have to, like, I remember I have another best friend, his name's Chris, and he's been on the podcast before, but I remember telling Chris, like, going over to his house and being like, man, I think in January I'm going to move to Nashville. And he's like, you know what? You need to go do that. You need to know that, if you come home 6 months later with your tail tucked between your legs, you at least gave it a shot. And I was like, you're right. And I moved up here, and when I first moved here, I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to be an artist anymore. Like, maybe I'll just write songs and get songs cut. And then I was hanging out with Alex Maxwell, Dawson Edwards, and a couple of other people. We were just having like a little bonfire thing, drinking, and they were drinking and, passing around the guitar, and they were like, Trey, why don't you play something you never play? And I was like, cool, I will. And I played the song called Believer that I've written. I did put it out during COVID, like a work tape version of it. And I played it, and I ended up having to play that song like 6 more times that night, But it was like something so small, and that, with like-minded people around me, where it made me believe in myself as an artist again. I was like, wow, I do want to do this. I don't want to stand on the sidelines and write songs for other people. You know? I'm just now figuring out how to do that. Why the fuck would I want to spend the next 10 years trying to figure out how to do that? Like, I just do it for myself and cut my own songs, and if there's songs that are better that I didn't write and people believe in me enough to cut them, then I'll do that too, and I don't know. It all kind of worked out the way it was supposed to. And, I think that a song like Dick Down Dallas could ruin a lot of artists, but I think it was it landed in my laps because I can handle it,
Yeah.
So,
well, it seems like you have an idea where you want to go from there, where I think some people could have that immediate success like that. And then especially with a song
what's
like that,
the next Wheeler Walker song that I can put out that,
Yeah.
And then you're just kind of a joke. And I don't want to, not that Wheeler's a joke. I mean, but it is a joke. He's a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I've got more in the tank than that. So we're we got to make believers one day at a time,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel that every day I'm in Nashville. I've been here. September will be 10 years since I left home. And I mean, I've just had so many times where I've thought about giving up. I mean, that's just been a constant battle of thinking about going back home. And
do you ever have to work any odd jobs here? Pay the bills?
No, man.
It's always been music?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've always just, if I couldn't pay the bills, I'd always just hit up friends and go. I'd be playing Broadway even within the last, couple of years after having, just going, hey, I need to make a few bucks. I'm going to go down there and play. And then I've been playing, some shows lately and doing private
I miss
gigs.
it sometimes. I miss playing Broadway.
Dude, it's I do stuff.
Or like Broadway type gigs. I never did Broadway that much, but I did. I played all the tin roofs across the Southeast. And
I sneak down to Whiskey Row and play every Thursday there with a couple friends. And it's like, for me, it's about staying loose because I'm not on the road a ton right now.
Yeah.
But I am playing shows. So what I was finding was I'm like, man, if I go, 3 weeks without playing and then I'm getting like, real money to go play a show, I got to be good.
Got to be good. Yeah.
I don't want to step up there and be like, I've got to, get the rust off. So I just started doing this thing where I would go down there every Thursday and make a few bucks and, stay loose. I think music's so similar to like comedy where you got to stay loose on stage.
My favorite thing to do is Matt. He used to play drums for me. He plays with a guy named Paxton P. on at the Valentine, and I'll go down there and I'll get up and I'll play a bunch of covers. They'll just think I'm like a friend sitting in, and at the end I'll play Dick Down in Dallas, and then I'll just leave the bar.
Speaking of, we're playing there tomorrow.
Yeah,
dude, I've been asked to play Dick Down in Dallas.
You won't do it?
No, I've done it. Yeah,
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's a sneaky good melody.
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
I agree with you. I feel like I can say it has a great melody because I didn't write it. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like I can brag on the song because like I'm not like a writer on it. I feel like if I sat here and was like, yeah, this song's really good and I wrote it, like I feel like a douche,
Yeah.
But the fact that I wasn't a writer on it, I'd be like, yeah, that song's good.
It actually is. It's a very very well written song. It's got a hell of a message.
I mean, there's a reason that shit cost $100 on Broadway.
Isn't that crazy that it's $100?
I heard there's bars that won't let you play it.
Yeah,
they won't.
Banned on Broadway.
You've made it when you've been banned on Broadway.
Yeah, you can't play it at like Aldean's and.
I've been in that on Broadway as a part of his band, and they're like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah, I can't play that.
And I'm like, what? I was like, I work for him. You know that, right? And they're like, yeah, it's
we
not
don't
allowed
care.
here.
Do you think there's a specific line that?
I think it's butt fucked.
Yeah. Is that the one?
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the one. I think
it's
like when it hits that, like I played it. I won't mention the name, but there's a venue here in town where they have dinner and you can, you play songs and.
I know what you're talking about.
and I got asked to play around there with some friends, and I was like, okay, well, I will come play here, but I'm going to play the song. Like, people are going to buy tickets to hear this song. And have I told this story on here?
You actually haven't.
When it first happened.
Well, he hadn't told it, no. So
anyways, it comes my turn to play the song. Like, I play like some serious songs. I play Troublemaker. I play, some heartfelt songs that are really well written songs. And whatever. Comes my turn to play that song, last song, and they come up whisper in my ear. They're like, they told you, they said don't play it, but you do you. And I was like, well, I'm going to do me. And I play it and I hit the butt fucked and PA turns off and I stand up and I just start singing it acoustic. The whole crowd's singing along and then they turn on the house music and I go back out. I go put my guitar up because they're ending the show. I go out. I go back on stage. I rip my shirt off, throw it out in the crowd, do two middle fingers and walk off the stage.
They turned the house music on.
Yeah, dude, they were pissed.
We were also tracking audio upstairs because Alex had brought cameras and they threw my hard drive that I was tracking the audio with upstairs. I was pissed about that too.
Damn.
Well,
So
I mean,
fucking
dude, like,
cunts.
that's the bottom line. Like, it's all good. You know what I mean? They have a certain standard that they like to live up to there, but I also have a certain standard. That was my kick in the footlights out moment.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
well,
it's
you got to
all good.
expect some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just let them
And be ready
send you
for it. And like you said,
But it felt good because, like, my publishers and, I'm at River House now and River House stood behind me. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're like, they were like, maybe taking your shirt off and flicking, the crowd off was a little over the top, but we love you, whatever.
yeah. Well, like you said, you're able to handle it.
There's been shows that we've gone and played, where the promoters were like, we need Trey to tone it back a little bit until we get to the last song. And I'm like, cool, I can do that. Like, I played a whole set the other day. I didn't cuss one word until we got to the last song of the set, and I'm fine with that, I know the day will come when they ask me to not play that song and just play my other hit songs, and I'll be like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
You know?
where that's just another one in the pile.
I mean, let's not forget Mitchell Tenpenny put out a song, "Bitches." You know,
Yeah,
that song.
Have you ever seen him play?
You
that
were
live?
around for that, right?
Oh yeah, have you
were
seen
in
him play?
Nashville for that.
Yeah.
I opened for him when I lived in Birmingham. So
Dude,
yeah,
people go crazy over that song.
yeah.
Flicks the whole crowd
But
off.
now
He does a thing.
but
It's
now he
awesome.
does like this whole. Well, he does this speech where he's like, "I'm not talking to a woman," you know, and like does this spiel, but
Yeah.
it's still a part of his show, you know.
Hell yeah.
And I'm sure it was when
him.
he first started doing radio shows, you know. Dude, he's such a cool guy. When he did when Dick Down Dallas was like first popping off, I played it at Doghouse, and he like came up there and made it rain on me. And like when he came up to me at like Live Oak, me and McKinney, he was like, "Yeah, y'all don't sell that song, y'all just keep it." And like, you know, it was just kind of like offering me advice and stuff. But he's such a nice dude. And then his wife Megan, she was on the podcast, and y'all did a song together, right?
Yep, I listened to that podcast of her on here, and yeah, we have a song together, and we're going.
What was it
friends.
like working with her?
Dude, she's a badass.
Yeah.
I mean, she just knocked it out. I love her vocal on "Really Shouldn't Drink Around You."
Yeah.
Like it. I mean, I knew she was going to be great, but I actually, when I do it live, I sing it I phrase it the way she did it.
Does, yeah.
Because I'm like, it's so good the way she did it.
Yeah, it's
so they're just an awesome people, and you know, both wildly talented. So
Yeah.
lucky to have people like that.
She can
call
snowboard her
friends.
ass off too.
I know. I heard her talking about that. I'm like, I wonder if I could take her. And then I started thinking, I'm like, no,
I talked to after
She
that.
probably will be.
After that episode came out, I was talking to Jordan Rager, and he was like, "Dude, what are the odds that she's a badass snowboarder, falls down, breaks her back?" He's like, "Don't worry, I can sing my ass off too. Like, nobody worry."
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. I need to do a snowboarding trip with her and Mitchell sometime.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Take Bonner, dude. He's incredible.
Hey, let's all go to Vail.
Yeah.
I'll be a tour guide.
Do you think Mitchell could snowboard?
I feel like I asked him that question before, but dude, I feel like he probably could do if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does or not, but
So you were probably in town when Luke came through and blew up and did all that stuff too.
Yep. I've seen a lot of people just blow up right in front of my eyes. I'm like,
Yeah. Does it make you bitter, or is it like, you know?
I think I've had my moments in the past, but I definitely feel like I've worked through that, and I'm over any of that. Just I'm rooting for good music, and I just think that when you're rooting for everybody and being positive, so much, it's like honey, man.
Yeah, I agree with it too.
It attracts
And
a lot more.
That's like I'm team everybody wins. If somebody does great, I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
And it's like I think that you can't get caught up in that the self comparison thing.
No,
because like we're all on the path that God wants us to be, whether you believe in that or not. You know what I mean? And like our story is our story, and it will be told how it's supposed to be told, regardless of what we do. The best thing we can do is just put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah,
for sure. And who can be upset like about a guy like Luke who makes
16 number ones, dude.
Man,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
and all those guys in his camp are, all his buddies, and
it just seems like a good
awesome.
dude. I don't know him. I've met him a few times, and he's been very
we
nice.
met in Planet Fitness one time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Which one?
Birmingham and
Vestavia?
Irondale.
Oh.
Irondale. Yeah.
So sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, we live right on the same road, so I see him on my road sometimes, and he waves at me.
Did he get you the two finger?
Hell yeah! I'm like, that's fucking Luke Combs. That's awesome.
That's tight.
Yeah, I try to be cool, and I'm like, I'm not cool. I'm not cool at all.
Hell yeah! Do you have land where you live?
I've got 6 acres.
Badass.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you've been here for, you said almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's one piece of advice you would go back and give yourself 10 years ago?
The first thought that comes to my mind is stay home.
Like, don't go out?
No, like
stay back in Ohio.
Don't even try this shit.
I don't think I could do it again. If I went back 10 years, the energy that it's taken to just even get here, I don't know. It's like the things I've missed, the nieces and nephews I've missed watching grow up, the family, the weddings I've missed, funerals, weddings, everything in between. But no, like that's, you know, I'm not actually serious. I'm really grateful for the journey I've been on. If I could go back and tell my,
but it's real. It's hard. It's tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you miss.
Yeah, certainly. That's been the, you know,
you have to make new friends because your old friends you can't go hang out with.
Yeah.
You know, you have
like
to.
my mom texted me today. They're having a little get together for my grandfather's birthday this Thursday. And yeah, I mean, I have the weekend off from touring, but I got a song coming out in 2 weeks, you know, like I gotta stay here and like work on that, you know.
Some content, liners, everything.
Yeah, all that shit. So
man, I don't know. I wouldn't change a whole lot. I mean, I feel like I've gone through some highs and lows, and all that is combined is kind of has me where I'm at right now. And I'm happy. I feel like I'm meeting new people. I'm like open to new ideas, new friends, and I'm enjoying where I'm at in life. So if I'm here where I'm at and I'm making good music, I'm writing good songs, and I've got good people in my life, you know, whatever it took to get me here, I'm definitely proud of that. So I wouldn't change a whole lot other than literally might have said, hey, definitely think about this. Cause I came down here like, I'm going to give it a year.
Yeah.
If I'm famous in a year, you know, awesome. If not, I'll go home.
Yeah.
But then I started getting into it and just, you know, year after year
and everything.
And like, I'm not quitting. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't quit till you reach your goal.
Exactly. So I believe that, you know, if you have the courage to start and do something,
buckle up.
It's just a matter of time, and we will
get addicted to it, baby.
Yeah, we will be victorious. Like there's just no room for doubt. And I guess as I'm speaking, I would have told that me, there's just like, remove the doubt. I've had so much doubt in my mind through the years of like, am I good enough? And insecurities. And, you know, for the first time really in the last few months, I've just made up my mind. Like I really had to, even within the past year, decide like, am I going to continue doing this? And part of me continuing to do it is to remove the doubt. I don't have room for it, and it's just all it is poison. And so I wish I could have gotten rid of some of that earlier.
Yeah, that's real.
What's next? You got more music coming or what?
Yeah, man. I've got an A&R meeting on Friday, and
sweet.
So we're putting the next project together. I was on this path of just like I was going to put songs out every 8 weeks until something crazy happened, and then you know, and then all of a sudden one of my independent songs starts getting played on radio, and things start changing, and the plan changes. So I'm just kind of rolling with that.
What song is that?
Question the Universe.
Dude, that song is a banger.
Yeah, so it's got some people and some great places that are really excited about it. So I'm just kind of rolling with that. And I did not record that song and expect it to get like a song called Question the Universe to get radio play.
Yeah.
But it is.
How'd you make the edits for the curse words?
I mean,
things like that.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it's going to be, is things like that. And it was really hard because I didn't want to like artistic integrity.
But I mean, even that sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what we changed it to. It's like it was the only option, or we tried editing out shit and that didn't really work. So,
no. But things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Question the Universe. That's really cool, dude. Well, thank you for being on the pod, man. I'm a big fan of yours, like I said. So y'all be sure to go check out Teddy Robb's music. It's awesome. I expect good things. I think good things are coming down your way, you know, and I think that when us artists, when we focus on the music and not worry about what Nashville thinks of us, is when shit really starts to work, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's cool, man. You got anything else? Where did these people find you at?
Well,
social media.
Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, dude,
first off, really great getting to know all you guys. So
y'all
are good people. You can just find me. I'm most active on Instagram.
Yeah.
I have all the stuff, but I'm not checking my Facebook. I'm not checking too much other than Instagram. DM me on there if you're trying to, I don't know, get a short answer back or something.
Yeah, get a short answer back or book you for a show
book
or
me
something.
For a show. Yeah, it's Instagram, but I've got teddyrobb.com. It's just TEDDYROBB.
Yeah. Awesome, y'all. Well, thank y'all for watching episode 44 of the DM Monday podcast. Please rate and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube because we're there and we are handsome men. Love y'all, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.
I was looking for, baby, even though I didn't know it at the time. Kinda wish you wouldn't have kept me waiting. Now I got you for the rest of my life. Worth the wait and all the heartache. Girl, your love ain't a minute too soon. The answer to the prayers that I prayed. It was always you. Can't say that it really makes sense. We're about as night and day as it gets. Like a missing piece, we just fit like your hand and mine does too. It was always you I was looking for, baby.